I've got a complimentary play coming your way on the Penn State-Indiana game in just a moment. I've got to tell you, though, guys, in all my years growing up as a boxing fan, watching boxing, covering boxing for a living, and betting boxing, I've only lost 3 bets in boxing. That's it. And if you watch these videos over the years, you know I've been right on the money with the plays that I've given you, the analysis I've told you here on the video reports I've given you on the site. But boy, was I dead wrong yesterday. I mean, absolutely wrong with everything I told you about that Wilder-Fury fight, which just goes to prove the old axiom, everybody's a tough guy until the first time you get hit in the face. And yesterday, my God, when Tyson Fury unloaded that one punch, when it hit Wilder flush, that was it, game, set, and match. It was like Wilder, that punch hit him so hard, and you know the one I'm talking about. When he hit him flush, it was like, man, my bell got rung, and I got no chance. Again, it was over. And from that point forward, there was nothing he was going to do. You know, I thought, in retrospect, I thought that putting on that extra 17 pounds that Fury did in the couple of months prior to the match, I thought that would hurt him. I thought that it would affect his stamina. I thought that Wilder would still be able to work his way in and still be able to unload on him. What a mistake I made. It just wasn't going to happen. Sometimes the big man is the better boxer. Sometimes the big man is going to overwhelm the smaller guy. And that's what you certainly saw yesterday. Just a devastating display of power yesterday by Fury. My God. Anyway, we move on. Let's talk about college basketball today. Props going out to Chris Jordan yesterday, hitting the third raised the bar 1,500 star release of his career. In the past 3 years, as he scored with Kansas over Baylor. I got to tell you something. I am not at all surprised that Baylor lost that game yesterday. Now, Baylor is a team that I have used, I think, 8 times this college basketball season, and I've gone 7-1 with their selections, going on or against them. But did I use that game yesterday? No. And I have been warning you, even after winning with Baylor, that that is a team that has flaws. And yesterday those flaws came back to hurt them. Not a good shooting team, not a good free throw shooting team either. And you saw Baylor lose in Waco yesterday. But how about San Diego State losing last night too? My God, what a strange day in college hoops. So, without further ado, let's get to the complimentary play here on today's card. I like Penn State to rebound from that loss at home to Illinois earlier in the week on Tuesday that snapped the Lions' 8-game winning streak, to take care of business at Assembly Hall in Bloomington today to beat Indiana. Penn State, pick 'em, or 1-point underdog. You know, that game against Illinois last night was really bizarre. This is a team that averages a little over 8.5 3-pointers per game. A team that is an exceptionally good shooting team from beyond the 3-point line. And yet in that game, a season low 4 3-pointers. Just 4 3-pointers on 19 attempts. Lamar Stevens, their leading scorer at 17.5 points a game. A 45.1% shooter on the season, 3 for 11, 13 points. Mike Watkins, just 8 points and 5 rebounds in just 18 minutes of action. This is a guy who's averaging 9.9 points, 7.9 rebounds, and shooting 55.3%. Now, granted, he's getting most of his buckets right there near the goal. So, but still, they're 2 best players, totally ineffective. Now, one of the keys here for Penn State is that their second leading scorer, Myron Jones, and their number 1 long-distance shooter, who's averaging 14.1 points and hitting at a 41.3% clip from deep, is with the team today. He's missed the last 3 games because of an undisclosed injury, and there's a chance that he may be back in the lineup. Now, the first time these two met in State College, Jones only had 5 points, but the Lions took the Hoosiers to the woodshed and won that game rather handily. And this Indiana team, listen, they're coming back home after a road split. They lost by 24 at Michigan. They won by 12 at Minnesota. But this is still a team that has lost 5 of its last 7 games. This is a team that just 2 weekends ago lost when Bobby Knight returned. Big deal. Bobby Knight, definition of bully. Just want to throw my 2 cents in there. Just because he's older and suffering health-wise, let's not make him out to be something different just because he's older. He's a bully and always was, right? Again, my opinion. But on that day, they lost to Purdue at home, and they got pushed around by Purdue. And this is a team that had lost 4 straight games before suddenly playing a little better here by winning 2 of their last 3. Again, they've lost 5 of their last 7 overall. And I just like Penn State to win and rebound here. Again, they won the first meeting back on January 29th, 64-49. In that game, Indiana only shot 33.3%, going 2 for 11 on 3-pointers, and committed 17 turnovers as well. I think that this is a game where Penn State will rebound. Penn State team that has played so damn well. And a Lions team that has done something that very few teams has done well in the Big Ten this season, and that is play well on the road. Because remember, Penn State comes into this game with a 4-game conference road winning streak, having beaten Michigan, Nebraska, Michigan State, and Purdue in its last 4 conference road games. So I'm going to go with Penn State here in a virtual pick'em game. XFL, I give you a winner yesterday on Dallas. The DC Defenders are a 9-point favorite tonight in Los Angeles against the Wildcats. Now, DC has gotten off to a very good start thanks to former Ohio State quarterback Cardell Jones, who has played damn great. 511 passing yards, 4 touchdowns in the first 2 games, completing 39 of 63 passes, and also 9 carries for 42 yards. But let's remember, DC has played its first 2 games at home. Now they go to the West Coast, and let's see how they travel. What I like about LA, not a lot. But I do like about LA is this: Josh Johnson, a guy who has had a number of cup of coffees with a number of different teams. Hell, last year he was starting for the Washington Redskins at the end of the season. Not this past year, but last year. He's now taking over the reins here as LA's quarterback. I think that LA played much better in week number 2 in a 28-15 loss to Dallas. Is their defense any good? No. They've given them 9 touchdowns to the first 2 weeks, which was more than any other team in the first 2 games. But I think that they can stay close, maybe make this a 4 to 6 point game. They're still going to lose, but I think the DC having the envious position of playing at home the first 2 weeks, let's see if they can do it on the road, and I would be inclined to take the 8 to 9 points in this spot and go against the DC Defenders, and that will be your XFL pick for today. So in the XFL, I'm going with the LA Wildcats plus the 8 to 9 points, and in college hoops, I'm taking Penn State. That'll do it, and I wish you well, guys, and talk to you again tomorrow.